So we've talked about some ways that we can substitute different notes, that we can change chords somewhat. We've talked about some common voicings. Next we want to talk about the idea of common tones between chords. This is the principle of voice leading. Voice leading just means the way that notes move between chords. Think of notes like voices. They sound best when they move as little as possible, or when they move by step. This is especially important in the right hand. We'll talk later about bass movement, but for now, we're going to focus on the right hand. For example, if I were going to play the chord progression C, D minor, C over E, and F, I could play it like this. Each of those voicings individually is fine, but the voice leading is not really smooth. The notes jump around a lot, and so as a result, it tends to draw attention to itself. It might be better to play it like this. See that my hand moved as little as possible, my right hand moved as little as possible, and I tried to have common notes between chords. So it sounds smooth. It's not necessarily interesting, per se, but interesting is not the point right now. Let's take another example. Let's play in the key of G. I'm going to play a similar voicing in my right hand to what a guitarist would actually play in the key of G. A good guitarist, generally, when he plays in the key of G, is going to keep these two notes as the highest. Again, it's not necessarily interesting. We'll talk more about different melody options later, but you saw for now the smoothness of voice leading. It's important to know that we can always use scale degrees 1, 2, 5, and 7 within a key. In the key of G, these notes. In the key of C, it would be 1, 2, 5, 7, 1. In the key of E, it would be. So you can use these with almost any chord. So now there's obviously dissonance there, but not all dissonance is created equal. Some dissonances work and some don't. We already talked about the fact that the 2 and the 7 of any chord function as color. They don't really alter the essence of the chord. Now the 4 alters it a little bit. But the 6 we generally avoid. The 6 above the root in any chord really alters it totally. In this style, we don't really think of the 6 as an acceptable added tone. That's more of a jazz feel. So if I'm going to play a key, that 6 above the C, or if I'm playing a B flat. You see how that's a very distinct sound that we try to avoid, but the 1, 2, 5, and 7 are all open. They're all available as colors, all with the intention of keeping smooth voice leading between the chords. Now it's your turn. Play the following chord progression, moving as little as possible in the right hand. I'm going to play this in 3/4. Let's go G sus. Now to F. G sus.